evening from my side. My name is Martin. I'm the product specialist for the Adobe Experience Manager, also for the Eastern Europe region, covering also Austria and Switzerland as well. Very happy to be here. Special guest for Summit. Thanks for the invitation to speak here at the venue. Normally, my colleague Manfred would have attended me here on stage, but unfortunately he had some family incident and he is excused tonight. That's why I'm trying to cover his part. Please be patient with me. It's not my specialty in his domain. He's covering the workfront, Adobe Workfront, part of the content supply chain. That's where the planning and the processes are happening. You will see that. That's why I brought my notes here. So please be patient. Sometimes I need to look at my notes. Well, having said enough, I think we can start off. I would like to start with Adobe's mission. You just saw it before with Karim, where it's about changing the world through digital experiences. And that's experiences where all the time accompanying Adobe since the founding in the early 80s. Through their products, they have paved the way and transformed how people work together, how they play together, how they learn and do business together. And that's the power we see in digital experiences, and that's what we mean with digital experiences. And just to provide a little more context here, these digital experiences span across 3 big Adobe clouds, where we see our main cloud business. It's on the left is the Adobe Creative Cloud, where the solutions like Photoshop, Lightroom, Premiere are housing and enabling individuals being creative. It's in the middle, it's the Adobe Document Cloud, where everything is about PDF, document creation, document sharing, and also digital signature. And on the right side, you see the Adobe Experience Cloud, where Adobe enables companies and enterprises of all size globally to run, create, and deliver digital experiences to their customers. And that's where we are focusing today on the Adobe Experience Cloud. I want to provide some more context here. Please don't be overwhelmed with this chart. Just shall summarize what it's all about. The Adobe Experience Cloud is built on the Adobe platform, Experience Platform, where many applications are housed in, and those applications can be categorized in categories. It's, for example, data insights and audiences, it's content and commerce, it's customer journeys and marketing workflows, and today I want to focus on Adobe Workfront and Adobe Experience Manager being the tools for content planning, creation, delivery in the content supply chain. I need to catch up with my notes here. Okay. So well, we all know the content landscape has changed and is changing. We heard about AI, generative AI is pushing into our hearts. But what are the main drivers for those changes? It's definitely about personalization, it's about segmentation, it's definitely about localization, multi-channel management, it's multi-site management, multi-format content delivery, it's about just-in-time content, and all demand rapid throughput, that's coordination on tighter deadlines that are influencing creative teams, all of the companies, and putting huge pressure on those teams. Click. Okay, here you see a real-time customer example from an Adobe manufacturing customer. I put this because this shall show you with what amount of content nowadays companies are dealing, and I'm pretty sure you're handling a similar amount of content. Maybe you're not aware of it, but most of your companies do. When we take 1,000 products from a standard mid-sized manufacturing company, Adobe customer, we see that they are handling 25 assets per product. When you do the math, you see it's automatically 25,000 assets only with these 25 assets per product. And talking about delivering content into different regions, in this case it's 15 global regions, we multiply this by a big factor and it becomes 375,000 assets that need to be stored, managed, worked with, shared, distributed. And not even talking about putting this content into context for each and every single customer and individual on different contexts and channels. So companies nowadays are in the demand to provide millions of asset variations on real time, any channel, any customer, any device, anytime. Having said this, it could be easy in theory. In theory, the people, processes, technologies all work together and all is fine, and you can build the end-to-end processes that form a content supply chain. But we know we are not living in theory, we're living in the practical lives. And it's not easy at all, because we often see that companies are very much struggling, not having any content supply chain at all, or having broken content supply chains. Many of our customers and researchers keep telling us, hey, we are not connected. We are not connected with our workflows, or we even don't have workflows. We're not knowing if assets have been approved, if we need to rework on them or not. Many of our customers and researchers tell us they are not connected in terms of team collaboration, cooperation. They are poorly communicating, if they communicate at all, doing siloed work and causing duplicated efforts. And they are not connected when it comes to technology stack. So some of the units and individuals are working with different solutions, different applications, not interconnected at all. That causes very low speed to market and a huge complexity. Next slide. This is what we call the spaghetti processes. When they become mixed up, everything is some kind of connected to each other, but not really there where we need it. This is not very uncommon. We see it in many enterprises. Tons of old and legacy solutions being worked on, customized, individualized to try to fit to the needs. But nothing is linear. Everything is a mess and causes a lot of trouble, causes a lot of time, wastes money, and in the end causes frustration with the employees. And at the real end, it's poor customer experience that comes out of it. In some teams, it might look like this, where you where you even don't know what shall you do with this chaos of solutions and not collaboration, and where to touch what content at what end. But tada, Adobe has a solution for that. That's where we try to bring structure into the mess and try to break it in a linear process, where we think this content supply chain processes span across three main areas. It's about the planning, the production, the delivery of assets. And now I must read a little more from my slide, because this is quite a few. Through our integrations and solutions, Adobe is uniquely positioned to help throughout the entire content supply chain streamline the spaghetti processes you saw before. Starting with the planning phase, we can optimize the creative operation through streamlined planning and processes. Adobe can help improve go-to-market speed by using templates, workflow management and approvals, and drive planning decisions using data. Within the production phase, Adobe is positioned to help seamlessly connect workflows across teams. Adobe can help also to increase efficiencies for designers in creative tools by having direct access to an asset repository. Here it is where Adobe Workfront is integrated into the Adobe Creative Suite you saw before. Adobe can help automate repetitive formatting tasks for both asset metadata and creative renditions, like video, graphic size, versions. This is a capability of Adobe Experience Manager assets. We will talk about this a little later. Finally, when content is ready to be delivered, we can help deploy assets in any channel and track content effectiveness. All these capabilities are powered by various solutions in our portfolio, including Adobe Creative Cloud, Workfront, and Adobe Experience Manager. But enough of the words. I have brought a video with me. I hope the sound works. And this video shows some capabilities of Adobe Workfront within the content supply chain. Please go.
The work your company does is more complex, global, and connected than ever. Delivering measurable outcomes at a rapid pace can be a challenge. Workfront can help by orchestrating and executing work across the enterprise, connecting strategy to delivery. Here's how. With Workfront, all your work is in one intuitive place. No matter where your teams are, they can stay connected and collaborate on the right work. Workfront supports different work methodologies, helping your team stay productive with automated workflows and engaged by personalizing the way they work, integrating with tools and systems they already use. So no matter who or where, everyone can collaborate and be productive with the context they need to deliver. As your company evolves, Workfront helps you optimize and scale processes to meet the evolving needs of your business as the market changes. You can plan and prioritize iteratively with real-time insights to help you stay responsive to change. All that data is actionable, helping you make key decisions with visibility across the business. At Workfront, we're committed to your success, leveraging a network of work management experts, verified best practices, and optimization strategies. With Workfront, enterprise work management can help your company, departments, and teams plan, predict, collaborate, evolve, and deliver their best work.
Thanks. Quite impressive, huh? What Workfront can deliver in the content supply chain. Now you saw it's about Workfront is covering the planning processes and the collaboration processes at all, and also review and approval processes, but that's not where the content supply chain ends. Coming back to our figures here, companies also need to take care about what to do with all the huge amount of assets here when it comes to sharing, to managing, to storing, finding, to delivering and collaborate on it. Also think of how to automate its distribution, how to analyze and gain insights of the performance of those millions of assets. You soon know that this cannot be done manually, and it cannot be done with any file storage. The only solution is a digital asset management platform here. And talking about this, it's not easy, or it's not done by picking just any dumb solution. You shall pick Adobe Experience Manager Assets, of course. I will explain you why, because it's important to focus on these, on every individual having interest in the content process, because every individual content contributor can add value to the content, be it metadata, be it some tagging, be it some version history changes. Let's have a look at DAM admin, for example. They are highly interested in special controlling of interests, of metadata management, taxonomy management, but also to set user permissions, user rights, set user groups, and gain insights into reports. Whereas a marketing manager is more interested to see how and where his or her assets are being used, on which channel, how they behave, what's the interaction score on it, and how to optimize the customer interaction on content. Also, of course, interested in the creation to delivery workflow processes. This must be streamlined. An asset user, for example, someone who creates a digital campaign or some social media campaign is not willing to spend too much time on finding any assets, not knowing if this asset has become the final asset, is it already approved, or can I find it? No, he or she just wants to use the right asset and embed it in his or her campaign. If we have a look at the IT department, for example, a developer who wants to take care about headless and headful delivery of content, takes care of how content performs in channels, and must ensure that content stays performant for his or her use cases. That's the reason why Adobe Experience Manager Assets is built with the end business user requirements in mind, and it's there leading digital asset management solution to centralize, collaborate, distribute, and deliver experiences across the customer journey. And this approach, or let's have a look at when I talk about centralize, collaborate, and deliver. It's the same as maybe XMit is also approaching in projects, where you start first to fix the basics. No? Start small. Start with the foundation of building a digital asset management platform. That's where the centralization comes into the game. Make sure that the processes are rolled out enterprise-wide, that people can have access to the central repository, that they can work on a single source of truth, and then evolve into taking care of automation processes, of workflows in this crawl, walk, run approach. What I mean with it is fix the basic first, try to crawl, stand up, get walking. With walking, I mean you can expand your footprint with the digital asset management solution, take care about workflows, connect the creative teams, and automate content creation. And the very last step, or the very elaborate step, is the run approach, where you really try to apply automated AI and machine learning algorithms to enhance the asset experience. What's next? Here you see a very, it seems complex, but it's quite simple if we speak about it. This shall show you how Experience Manager Assets is here to deal with the whole content lifecycle. Far above you see a workflow management with Adobe Workfront. We covered this before. And the lower section shall show you that Adobe Experience Manager takes care of from the beginning to the very end in any content lifecycle, taking care of sourcing or creating, be it, for example, created with any Creative Cloud application or ingested via Adobe Stock or any other channel. It's also about being integrated or integrative with any enterprise application that has sound interest in sharing asset and working with asset. In this case, it's product information management solutions with predefined connectors we are having on board. Of course, it is about core DAM activities, when it's about finding, storing, managing, sharing, composing experiences on assets. And on the right side, you see when Adobe Experience Manager Assets opens the gates and delivers content on a personalized manner and with intelligence fueled. I mean, the native integrations with Adobe Real-Time CDP, Adobe Journey Optimize Analytics, Target, Commerce sites, that's coming with the package. With these integrations existing, you can make sure that content is delivered on time, on any channel, on following the individual customer journey on any device, anytime, anywhere. And with channel, I mean, here is some kind of channels listed. It can be a single page application, can be a normal website, can be a smartwatch, can be an Internet of Thing device, can be a screen, because IM also comes with digital signage solution on board. And all to, in this section you see the artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms in place. Talking about intelligence, it comes natively with AM assets. When you think of how you can benefit as an asset creator or marketer from it, just think of that you don't have to do that much manual work anymore or do repetitive tasks. You can let the system do this task for you and use the AI services being provided with AM assets. AM assets also comes with smart services powered by Adobe Sensei. For example, it's about automated cropping of images or even videos, providing different branches of assets. And it comes with other smart services. With smart services, I mean native integration with Photoshop and Lightroom APIs. So we take from the Creative Cloud Photoshop and Lightroom API services and integrated it to the DAM solution to make marketers not being reliant on designers anymore and to make their own variations of assets as they go on the fly in the DAM. For example, changing backgrounds, changing colors, making croppings. I think this shall, yeah, here in this video you see what I mean with, he's not a designer, in this case he's a designer, but this is also possible within Adobe Experience Manager assets where you can apply such filters and to make assets individually deliverable. And we also have dynamic media. Dynamic media comes to be the engine for on-the-fly transformation of content, when it's about different formats, different styles, different shapes, different sizes, different resolutions. And dynamic media can connect with the end client's gadgets and knows the bandwidth and is capable of compressing or reducing file sizes up to 70% without losing quality or without losing any performance. I've brought some discovery questions, but I'm far too quick. I'll take some time now and slow down. That's from my side all of the content, but I think the questions, I just thought about what questions could you bring back into your company. Think about your content supply chain to uncover some potential or some needs. It's not meant to go through them all right now, but I might pick out one or two. For example, you can ask yourself, not right now, but when you're back home in your company, how are we already automating our content creation processes? Are there tools in place? How are we handling content? Are we doing a good job here, or is there room for improvement? And if yes, where? And then you can start with asking how. You can come to a conclusion if there needs some kind of refurbishment done in your content supply chain. Or for example, how is our team addressing the need to deliver across more channels and formats? Can you be channel agnostic, or are you very rigid in your current CMS or DAM solution, where you have lots of manual work every time to adapt assets to any channel needs or to be, for example, responsive? That's the first questions that lead you to the content supply chain topic. To end my slot, well, it's just a little more than 20 minutes. I've speeded through and rushed through the slides. I wanted to show you, Karim just mentioned it, there is another summit coming in June to London. It's 8th and 9th of June. I and we from Adobe are inviting you, please join us here at Adobe, here at the summit in Adobe in London, in person or virtually. I've just given a sneak peek of it. Please, sound on. Yeah. It's a great marketing video, but this shall show you what kind of content is expected. It's not about only content supply chain. Yes, it will play a very important role in this summit, as it did with the global summit. But there's also all the aspects you saw before on the application and the category side. All those aspects are covered, and you can meet Adobe executives, you can meet engineers, you can meet the product marketing team, but also customers, partners like Axamit. Global customers, local customers. It's housed in the UK, so many European customers, partners, vendors are traveling there. So feel free to attend. Hopefully see you there. Thanks a lot. If you're having questions, please feel free to ask them now or grab a beer afterwards and we can have a conversation then.
Sure. I mean, I think it's towards, if I may, it's towards the content supply chain. By the way, I'm a huge fan of it. So, like, I wanted to ask because, like, content supply chain really navigates us, right, through the, like, kind of planning process, delivery, and everything. You even offered some questions, how we can challenge ourselves or our clients, whether we really need to implement or not. But my question is, in order to, like, successfully plan and then deliver the work, we need to do the kind of initial assessment of the state of the content, on the content architecture at the clients, like, and kind of assess what they have. So do you as Adobe have like your own kind of audit methodology or some sort of like tools or kind of design pattern, how to tackle that challenge, how to successfully assess what the client already has and how to plan that work?
Yeah, good question. Thanks for that. I decided not to bring that with me because this would have been too much of complexity here. But yes, there is 1, 2, 3, we can have 5 slides on this. We have tools and best practices available, how to get into conversation, how to open the doors, and talk about the basics, as I said. Try to fix the basics and talk about the basics first. There is some kind of maturity assessment support. And there are, if I can remember correctly, 3 big domains where you're guided on this content supply chain journey. Yeah. So yes, answer it simple, yes.
Yeah, great, thanks. It would be lovely if you could share it with the community.
Will do, yeah.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Welcome.
Okay, any other questions?
Feel free to ask me just afterwards.
Yeah, I was thinking during your speech that if I was, marketing delivery manager, I would die for this software. I can feel their pain. It is really so complicated. And did I get it right that the one of main forces of Workfront is that the tasks and all the flows are connected to the assets, and you don't need to apply any custom software. Or I have seen some cases when even companies were trying to use software development tools like Jira or something like that for content creation, but it has absolutely different nature, and it doesn't suit, it doesn't connect, and they lose so many efforts in this unperfect
That's what we're seeing. While you're mentioning Jira, that's not very seldom. It's quite often that developers, because it's coming from the development corner, try to apply Jira on the marketing colleagues and say, hey, we have it, use it, and the marketing colleagues or designers say, what's that? I cannot even see anything. I need my assets in there. I need to see where I'm working on. And that's why Jira is not really suitable for this. And that's where Workfront comes into the game. And if you talk with a creative guy sitting in this Photoshop application or Premiere application, there are out-of-the-box connectors and desktop connectors natively integrated into Photoshop, for example, Photoshop or InDesign, where they see what asset they're working on, if this is stored in Adobe Experience Manager assets or not, what kind of workflows are integrated there. So it's a platform approach where you see the interconnection between. And the big target is leave the creatives there where they really feel well. So, for example, in Photoshop or Lightroom or InDesign, and provide the tools to enable their workflows, to enable collaboration, and to make them, but not push them towards using something different, but just broaden their ecosystem.
Thank you. And as I remember, Adobe acquired Workfront for about 2 or 3 years ago, so it is not so well known as Adobe Experience Manager, and not everyone knows it. And how many cases maybe you have of implementation? Maybe there are some revenue outcomes after the implementation of cost estimation. Can you give a little example of that?
As I said, I'm not a Workfront specialist. This would have been Manfred, so it's not quite easy to answer this. But following your initial thoughts, yes, Workfront is still quite new. but it's very well integrated right now. We are having a couple of partners ramping up, learning about the integrated business value. I hope Aximit will be in the future one of those partners being on the front run with us, telling their content supply chain story more strong than you do right now. Your question was towards implementation effort, correct?
Yeah, some maybe showcases like 300% ROI after the implementation in 1 year.
Maybe
wow.
you can. I'm pretty sure you can achieve this if it's implemented correctly. But I'm not the right guy to ask the implementation questions because I'm quite far away from Workfront, only with the interfaces and the connections. But it's two different worlds merging together. So we do have just only Workfront customers, not using assets, and we have asset customers not using Workfront, but they are looking at those solutions one after the other. So they see the integrated value, and they are eager to invest into implementation efforts as well. I would say, I cannot give you figures, but implementation effort, maybe it's twice the licensing costs, subscription costs, if this is what you want to hear.
Okay,
exactly.
we will do some work on this matter and we'll tell you.
But please reach out to Manfred for more specific answers to that.
Any other questions? Okay.